There's been so much controversy and so much back and forth, resistance, vehement resistance by Nigerians across different regions about the Ruga initiative that was introduced by the federal government. Despite faltering initiatives in order to resolve the killings that had taken place in the country in the recent time. Let's get your insights when you first heard about this initiative.
The first thing is that you have said too many things in your intro, and so many of them I don't agree with. You think there are initiatives to resolve the killings. I think that's not true. I think that's not true. The initiatives are deceitful. The intention is not to resolve the killings. And I think these things are out there in the public in clear and simple terms, but we deliberately, being Nigerians and being dysfunctional, refuse to admit what is as clear as black and white. Ruga settlement is, in the simplest terms, Islamization and Fulanization. That is what it is. And except for an imbecile, it is so simple and clear to understand. And let me give you some indications. General Buhari had publicly said, I don't remember the exact words, but I'll try to paraphrase, that he will not conceal his desire for a total implementation of Sharia throughout Nigeria. What is that? That is Islamization. The man has never pretended. It is Nigerians as complex as they are, dysfunctional, pretending for him. The man has never pretended. It is we ourselves, educated Southern Christians, pretending for him. The same General Buhari had told the Benue leaders when they visited him that they should accommodate their brothers. Who are their brothers? Terrorist Fulani headsmen, classified by the Global Terrorism Index as the third most dangerous terrorist organization in the whole world, not in Nigeria. So the facts are all there. Femi Adesina speaks for Buhari. Femi Adesina told us that it may be better if we give up our lands to terrorist Fulani headsmen instead of dying. So in how many ways will Buhari communicate before you will understand? Now, prior to that, a national newspaper in its front page, reported that the national leader of APC, Alhaji Bola Tinubu, had told the CIA, front page, so this is not a CIA classified files, front page of national newspaper, highly reputable national newspaper, that General Buhari is an ethnic bigot and a religious fanatic. How many indications do you want? Ruga is Islamization and Fulanization. You think that's not enough? In 2015, former vice chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee, Professor Banu Wabeze, QCSAN, had said that Buhari had only one agenda, which was Islamization. 2015. But you chose not to listen. Because as Nigerians, we have very complex, many times self-destructive private agenda. Listen to the words I'm using, self-destructive. Many times. Because we have become complex in our celebration of what is wrong. This communication is so clear. 2015, Professor Ben Webeze, Professor of Constitutional Law, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Queen's Counsel, He said Buhari had only one agenda in government. And that is why Buhari has failed in every other thing. He failed in anti-corruption. Now we have more corruption. He failed in security. Nigeria has never been this insecure. He has failed on the economy. The 3 cardinal programs he published himself for his own government. The only thing he's about succeeding with is Islamization, which you were warned in 2015, but you were not interested because you were desperate, chasing some narrow self-destructive agenda. The communication was very clear. Now, a few years after, General Theophilus Danjuma, told you that the Nigerian armed forces are conniving with the terrorists who are killing people. Nigerian armed forces. General Danjuma commanded those same forces. Who is the commander-in-chief of those armed forces? It's General Buhari. Now, you didn't believe Professor Ben Wabweze. You didn't believe General Danjuma. Obasanjo has repeated it. You didn't believe Tinubu. Obasanjo has repeated it. That the agenda is an agenda of Islamization and Fulanization. And then, in the imbecility of the Nigerian presidency, Ruga is the most imbecilic thing I've ever heard in my life. I do not think there's any educated person in the whole of that presidency. To implement Ruga, you need to abrogate the Land Use Act. So how does anybody get to that level when you don't know that? You are chief of staff for the president. You are SA to the president. You are spokesperson to the president. You are president. You are vice president. You claim to be a professor of law and the senior advocate of Nigeria. And you allow a government to publish this kind of a policy? Land, according to Land Use Act, belongs to state governments. The Lagos state government has a Supreme Court judgment on that. If anybody is still in doubt as to the meaning of the law. So if you are looking for interpretation, the Supreme Court has already interpreted it. Then you go to Benue State and go and put a signpost that you want to take a settlement without the consent of the state government. Who gave you access to the land? This is brigandage. This is banditry. This is terrorism. That is what it is. But you claim to be journalists. You pretend to be nice. You're using nice words. And you tell us not to use strong terms. And in the meantime, everybody's in danger. And the Constitution holds you responsible for holding the government responsible and accountable to us.
Many Nigerians, I mean, so to say, are looking at this issue that there may be some misconceptions that it's politically motivated, so to say, for people to come out against the Ruga initiative. You have to look at it. Kano state government said, I have enough land for everybody. Come. Why are they not going there? Because it's a Fulanization plot. Please, don't bring this very vexatious argument that make us look like we have the lowest IQ in the world. And you know there's a published study that black people have the lowest IQ in the world. And that's false. Because the 2 brightest scientists in the whole world today are Nigerians. So it can be a coincidence if it is one of them. The 2 brightest scientists in the world today are Nigerians. Professor Gabriel Oyibo, who solved the equation that Einstein could not solve. The grand unified theory of everything. And then Professor Emma Gwali, the computer super genius. So we need to be careful. Right now, the American embassy is accepting tuberculosis tests only from 1 hospital in the whole of Lagos State. Because we keep denigrating ourselves. That's why I said self-destructive. We cheat, we lie, we fail, we do sexual harassment for marks. We do all these dirty things and we want to be regarded as reasonable people. If you behave like an animal, you are an animal. So we can't continue behaving at sub-animal conditions, bringing sub-animal logic, and thinking that we're going to make progress because we're trying to defend some very parochial interests. Let us continue. We are the ones self-destroying. So even if we go and do vigil, God will not answer us.
because even the vigil is an abomination before God.
Part of the arguments that are being pushed out by the special assistant to the president includes the fact that there is no imposition on the state.
There is an imposition. You don't go to Benue and put a signpost. We have an office statement from the office of the governor of Benue State saying that they are not aware that you have just come to put this signpost and they have removed it. What do you mean? The media should not promote the falsehood because it is government that is the source of falsehood. It is a violation of the professional ethics of journalists to promote deliberate falsehood.
One of the issues, so to say, includes the fact that the governors themselves were part of the initiatives that...
No, those are the falsehoods. The office of the vice president had denied the Mieti Allah claim that the office of the vice president is in charge of Ruga settlement policy. This is a disguise for the same issue of land grabbing that Femi Adesina had spoken about, that General Buhari himself had spoken about. They want to take your land, create a Fulani territory, and take over your state. That's all. It's a land grabbing agenda. That is the Islamization and Fulanization agenda. What else do you want to hear? How much more clear can it be? All the facts I've given you, which one is false? When we do the wrong things as a people, we must expect to get the wrong answers as a people. When we do the wrong things as individuals, we must expect to get the wrong answers as individuals. And that is why, as of today, Nigeria is the third most terrorized country in the world. Nigeria is the global capital of extreme poverty. And the way suicide is going in Nigeria, we're going to probably be the highest. So you need to get it. You need to get it, and you need to get it very clearly. And I said it the last time I was here. You did not create this world. God created it. He set the rules of the universe. Choices have consequences. Actions have reactions. What we sow is what we reap. We do the wrong things, we get the wrong answers.
It is quite
so we need to be careful. Not only not to do the wrong things, but to always do the right things. And the first step to doing the right thing is to be honest. Simply honest. Not this convoluted, psychotic arguments. Ruga is Islamization and Fulanization. That is what Ruga stands for.
What if the federal government eventually rams this down on the throats of Nigerians?
The federal government lacks the moral and legal and political capacity.
But they are defending it.
They are defending it. That's well and good. And we are resisting it because we know what it is.
But what if they ram it down the throats of Nigerians?
It is going to be very difficult. It is going to be very difficult. I am sure you are aware of the public statement issued by Gani Adams. And some governors have said clearly that we don't want Ruga. At least, if nobody else has said it, Benue State government has said it.
Wouldn't the killings even continue then?
Well, it depends. It doesn't depend on me. Everybody knows my position. You have my tape in 2015, play it again. I stand by those positions that I had in 2015. It depends on you. What I mean, you as a Nigerian. So it's not you as an individual. Listen, we continue to tolerate this nonsense, it will continue to happen. When we say no, it is going to stop. We have not said no because we have become very maniacally materialistic, that we're always having some sinister, self-destructive agenda that we need to promote to privately help ourselves. So until we get out of that vicious cycle and simply say no to Islamization and Fulanization, this nonsense is going to continue.
So finally,
yes,
beyond the Ruga initiative, what alternatives should Nigerians be looking at now? Because there seems to be nobody profiling in terms of...
No. I can give you...
In terms of securing the lives of people.
I can give you 5 easy, simple solutions that cost government nothing. But that's not what I'm going to waste my time doing. It's a total waste of time. The government is not interested. We need to get rid of this government constitutionally and democratically. There was an election. General Buhari knows he lost that election. he needs to leave office. Let me tell you, the day you really want to solve a problem, do a root cause analysis. If you have malaria and you're treating headache, the plasmodium will remain there and the malaria will remain there. So don't lead me on that line. I'm not interested in that. The government is not interested in that. Do a root cause analysis. The root cause analysis, this problem, when you do a root cause analysis, what caused Fulani herdsmen terrorism? You agree on what caused it. What caused that one? You agree on what caused it. When you go 5 levels, using the 5 whys principle, you will get a root cause. The root cause of this problem is General Buhari. Quote me. Publish it anywhere. Do any proper root cause analysis, you arrive at General Buhari. We have done it in different fora. The root cause of terrorism by Fulani herdsmen is General Buhari. Let me tell you, Shagari was a Fulani, but he was a reasonable man. Yaradua was a Fulani, he was a brilliant man. General Buhari is not the first Fulani to come to power. Fulani has dominated power in Nigeria. The problem is General Buhari, and he has not concealed it. He has confessed. But you don't want to listen because of your own parochial biases. Buhari has confessed. I quoted it some more instances. If you look at that statement about total implementation of Sharia throughout Nigeria, and you look at the published agenda of Boko Haram, verbatim, they're equivalent. Just take the two and look at it. What's the difference between that and Boko Haram imposing an Islamic sultanate? What's the difference? It's not Sharia. That's what makes an Islamic sultanate. What is wrong? We cannot be claiming that I went to UI and we cannot understand simple English. I have masters in classics and we cannot think reasonably. I have a PhD in West African history and we do not know the connection. Please now, please.
Mr. Martins Onovo, thank you very much for your insightful analysis. We really appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much.